So that was important for Marcos, who trail at the moment by in 4th place. So Harlequins still lead with 993, Aquanites 910, All Stars 906, and then Marcos 828. But that will have changed after that double points effort from Sam Mackenzie. And Nicholas Crott is in 1 down here. Daniel Caldwell, Daniel Hunter, Michael Finlay, Kyle Barnes, Julian Weir, Stephen Kent up in 7, Charles Porter, Marcos in 8. This is an outstanding start from Daniel Hunter, and we saw him in the relay. And you mentioned, I think you mentioned the word outstanding.
Yeah, look, I'm really pleased to see his progress. He's hung around as a young age grouper, and he's now starting to evolve all the time in the sprint events. He's incredibly tall out of St Kentigern's College, and he takes out the gold with a 51.11. Stephen Kent won't like that, finishing in 2nd position, but it's a double victory for the Harlequins, 1st and 2nd, so they get maximum points. So that's the biggest consolation of the fact that even though Stephen Kent was relegated to 2nd, he does hold 2nd to a fellow Harlequin swimmer that takes out the gold. But look at Daniel Hunter's nice stroke rating.
Well, he has got that great build for a freestyler, hasn't he? He's very tall and broad. Just another swimmer that I have to look up to.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that you have to look up to fair, John.
Right.
But, you know, he'll keep developing and he'll keep maturing, and you can see that he's going to just fill out a little bit, get a little bit more muscular definition, particularly around the lats area. As a sprinter, that's so important.
Yonsu Lee is back. And Cecilia Crooks, Macy Burns, Maggie Franks, Yonsu Lee, Hannah Bates, Jessica Igo, Vanessa Alhand, Victoria McTeague. They are the starters for the women's under 15, 15 and under, 200 metres IM, 200 metres individual medley. Looking there at Macy Burns of All Stars. That was good timing. Just get the camera shot right, and someone stands up and blocks it. That's nice. Here we go. 200 metres IM for women 15 and under.
Well, who's your money on here, John?
Well, we've seen Yonsu Lee look so impressive in the previous IM, the 400.
Yeah, she did look pretty impressive, and she carried the Joker in that occasion in the 400 individual medley. So you'd be a fool if you didn't back her in this event.
Hannah Bates of Marcos in 5. Maggie Franks from Aquanites. There's a good shot, although somewhat clouded by the bubbles. And they're off the wall. Look at the advantage she has now going into the backstroke, which is a strong event for her. Yonsu Lee, 14 years of age. Harlequins zone.
Yeah, nice shot there of her breathing mechanisms again, and we go back to that and we look at how she is breathing in the water, not sucking in too much air, not hyperventilating as such. Nice head position as she must touch on her back as she turns into the breaststroke. Just gets a breath on the wall, puts in that underwater pull through, and then a dolphin kick, which you're allowed to do now. So some people on TV will look at that and go, she did a butterfly kick, but you're allowed to do one butterfly kick at the end of the pull through and breaststroke.
We saw up in lane 7, Vanessa Alhand from Aquanites in 2nd place. This is where it normally tells the breaststroke. There's a 200, so there's only 50 metres of breaststroke. And we did see earlier on, Yonsu Lee never lost ground over the breaststroke. She's obviously picked up on that discipline, and we know she's a very good freestyler. So from North Shore, she pushes off for the final time into the freestyle, and look at that, 15 metres or more clear. This is an age group swimmer, 15 years of age.
Yeah, she's pretty proficient in all 4 disciplines: butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke and freestyle. And that's why she's in the dominating position that she's in now in this 200 individual medley.
Look at the margin that's coming up as we see a touch and then look for the next one. That was a third of a length. And up in lane 7, we saw Vanessa Alhand, Jessica Igo of All Stars. also in third place, and Hannah Bates in fourth. Hannah Bates from Marcos. So all the teams getting a representative in the first 4 places. And she's good. So if we're picking stars from this meet, and she would certainly be up there at the top of the list. Yonsu Lee. Over 16. Women's 200 IM. Simone Cowling is down here from Harlequins. Next to her in 2 is Emily Rennell. Nikki Chapman in the pink. Helena Gasson of Aquanites. Sorry. Holly Parker is in 5. Kate Godfrey is in lane number 6 up there. Yes. Bronna Ryan of 7, and no one in lane 7. In lane 8 we have Madeleine Mason.
Well, Helena Gasson in lane number 4 had an extremely good New Zealand short course championships. I think she took home 5 gold medals at that particular swim meet. Doing a good job here in the 200 individual medley. Led through the first 50 meters butterfly. Swimming nicely in this 50 meters backstroke.
Comes from the Fairfield Club. She was second in the 400 IM at the Nationals and second in the 200 butterfly.
But it was at the short course that she really started to improve. Yeah. And that would indicate that she's got good turns on her. You know, short course swimmers, if they dominate in short course, they tend to be able to dominate off the walls or in and out of the walls. But Helena Gasson doing nicely in the breaststroke leg too. Just have a look how the head's moving forward, and you can see her just the body position in a nice streamline right now. The most efficient position to get down into that streamline, and she can see her head traveling forward. Maybe needs to just work a little bit more on a kick, but doing nicely.
Nikki Chapman down here in lane 3 will turn in third place behind Kate Godfrey. I think, yes, going into the wall now. So Godfrey now into the freestyle as well.
A lot of these Marco swimmers doing very well in breaststroke. And that's where they started to come through in that 200 individual medley in the breaststroke leg.
Aquanite's going to pick up some valuable points. It really is tight for second and third in the zonal championship. Points tallied up at the end. The champion team receives the trophy. The first ever zonals was won by Marcos, with Kurt Crosland being their dominant swimmer. This time, the likes of Kate Godfrey helping them dramatically. A win to Helena Gasson. 200 metres individual medley. Gasson wins it for Aquanites. Second, Kate Godfrey for Marcos, and third, Nikki Chapman for All Stars.
And this is where she won that 200 individual medley in the breaststroke leg in particular. Although having said that, she dominated from the start.
So the men now 16 and over. Sorry, 15 and under. 200 metres individual medley. Watch here, we've seen some outstanding swims from the likes of Lewis Clareburt, James Buck in the relay, Jordan Wilson, Jack Callagher, Angus Syme, all looking good. Brendan Cavo is in lane number 1. George Dorrington is in lane number 8.
So Lewis Clareburt taking us through the first 50 metres butterfly and straight into the stroke rate. So hard to change from butterfly to backstroke. Different muscles, different rhythm, different breathing. Everything is different. Lewis Clareburt just doing a really good job in this 50 backstroke. Now you try to come in, you conserve your legs a little bit because you need those legs when you go into this 50 metres breaststroke. A little bit shallow on the turn. Breaststroke such a dominated event in the legs. 70% of the power through the legs. Jordan Wilson, who won the 200 metres butterfly in lane number 6 for the Harlequins team out of the Parnell Swimming Club. He is currently in 2nd position.
But leading by a considerable margin is Lewis Clevert of All Star.
Jack Kelleher, also from Harlequins, currently in what, second, third equal. They're right there neck and neck between Jack Kelleher and also Jordan Wilson for the 2nd and 3rd position.
Going to be more points here. Big points, 26 points for the All-Star team as they struggle to hold 2nd place overall. It's a fantastic battle between them and the Aqua Knights. And where's the nearest Aqua Knights swimmer? They'll be looking for Brendan Kovo or Brun Munda. There's Munda finishing now, so not big points for Aqua Knights.
Yeah, but what's important is the Harlequins in that case got 2nd and 3rd, so that's getting maximum points.
Yep. So that extends Harlequins, but that battle for 2nd and 3rd is really heating up. It might well be coming down to the last event tonight. .200 IM for men, 16 and over.
Well, John, this is interesting. Nobody in lane number 7. So immediately the Harlequins forgo 4 points.
But he was only some bloke who won a bronze medal in a relay at London, at the Olympics, so won't be very good.
That'd be drug testing.
Yes, that's right.
Very
so blank,
unfair.
so no points here. So Michael Guy was meant to be in this. So individual medley. Look up the top, Cameron James of Marcos. Bradley Ashby is in 6 for Aqua Knights. Ben Walsh is inside him, lane 5 for All-Star. Matthew Phillips for Marcos is in 4. Max Polyansky in 3. Joshua Taylor-Martin in 2. And Blake Gunn is down in lane number 1. Just reminding you that first, to win this race, you get 26 points for your zone. For 2nd, you get 21. For 3rd, 17, and for 4th, 12, and so on. So, as Mark mentioned, a 2nd and a 3rd for one team gives them 38 points, which is what the Harlequins got in that last race. 26 for the win. But it is important that the 2nd swimmer in each race also gets right up there if they can. And as Mark mentioned, no one from Harlequins. So Harlequins, with Max Polyansky swimming in lane 3, are reliant on one swimmer.
Well, to be fair, Max Polyansky doing a good job. He's currently in about 3rd equal position. As we see, Bradley Ashby just turning slight advantage over the swimmer in lane number 8, Cameron James from Marcos. So Bradley Ashby from the Aquanauts.
Astronauts. Aqua Knights.
Aqua Knights.
It's a long night, isn't it?
It is.
We've already had nearly 3.5 hours of swimming.
And of course, these names are foreign to us too, to be fair.
And here they come. Lane number 6, Bradley Ashby, Aqua Knights. Another stunner from him. 26 points for his team. Up at the top and down at the bottom, we've got Cameron James from Marcos and Blake Gunn of All-Star.
Well, Blake Gunn actually came through and got into 2nd position from the All-Stars.
And All-Stars, Ben Walsh finished 4th, so All-Stars get a 2nd and a 4th. That gives them 21 plus 12, 33 points. And where did Polyansky finish from Harlequins? In 5th place, so they just get 10 points out of this race. So that's a costly race for Harlequins, although they do have a fairly big lead at the top of the points table. Next race, they're ready to go already. And we will notice, yes, we're able to just look down at the blocks and see the starters, and I notice a pink cap down there. So that's, yes, number 5, lane 5, that's Caitlin Deans. So Caitlin Deans, the Marcos in this 400 metres freestyle, pinning their hopes on her to get double points. Well, she'll get double points, but will it be double big points? Taylor Harwood here in lane 1. into action already with from the Marcos. So Marcos in 1 and 5. Taylor Harwood here. Alicia Mitchell from All Stars in the black cap here in lane 2. Rudy Adset of Aquanites in 3. Moving out to the white cap, that's JC Krop of Harlequins. Then the pink of Caitlin Deans. Then Maya Rasmussen, who's in the lead as we expect from All Star. Isla Kerr-Aim of Aquanites is up in lane 7, and Hayley McIntosh is in the top in lane 8. Turning first though, it's Caitlin Deans from Maya Rasmussen and Ruby Adset.
Well, Caitlin Deans is at the New Zealand Short Course Championships. He won the gold medal for 14 years in the 200, 400 and 800 metres freestyle. But this young Myra Rasmussen is just swimming outstandingly well at these zonal championships, winning the 200 and 400 individual medley. It's a very good first 100 metres. 1 minute 3 for 3 of those swimmers.
Maya Rasmussen out of Kiwi West Aquatics in Palmerston North. She's leading. And she has, as Mark Bone has said, impressed greatly here among the 15 and unders. She's 14. Lane 6, Karina Doyle. Is it Doyle? Rasmussen? Deans. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong...
So Caitlin Deans in second position, but of course Caitlin Deans in lane number 5 is wearing the Joker's cap, so she needs to pick it up here. They're coming up to the halfway stage of this 400 metres freestyle, but it is Rasmussen from the All Stars team. Will she make it 3 from 3? So Rudy Adset currently in 3rd position from the Aquanites.
Well, Caitlin Deans to the left here, pink cap. Marco's pinning their hopes on her to hopefully get double 26, which is what you get for winning. But she's going to have her work cut out. Maya Rasmussen continues to lead.
Well, Rasmussen is just the more balanced swimmer, isn't she? You can just see in the technique, it just flows that little bit more. She looks as if she's just grabbing that water and getting more power under her body.
And look at Rudy Adset too.
Yeah, Rudy Adset's come back here nicely. She's only 14 years of age as well. So she's giving a year away, and she's moved herself into 2nd position.
New Zealand age group record holder for 13 years, 200 free. And second in the 50 and 800 free for 14-year-olds last year from Napier Aquahawks. Moving into 2nd place.
Well, it was a nice turn by Adset too, just out-turned Caitlin Deans. And she also is breathing on both sides, so she gets an advantage of checking where she is. As we see her looking across to the right-hand side. The leader is Rasmussen. She just breathes that one side to her left-hand side the whole time. So with 50 metres
as well, isn't she?
Yes, she is. 50 metres still to swim. Oh, it's a great race for 2nd. Nothing in it. Caitlin Deans, I mean, she's wearing the Joker's cap, so she needs to come back and try and claw back into 2nd position to get the maximum advantage.
Rasmussen leads and will win. Who gets 2nd? Does Caitlin Deans get 42 points or 34? Will she finish 2nd or 3rd?
Deans versus Adset. Look at the 6-speed kick, and they're driving to the wall.
Oh, she strikes home for 2nd. That's a big swim by Caitlin Deans, because she knew at the turn with 50 to go that Adset had her measure.
Oh, what a good race, though, wasn't it? A tactical race. I mean, it's interesting. I probably at the halfway stage, Caitlin Deans knew that she couldn't come and win that, so she needed to make sure she just secured 2nd, and she did a good job over that last 50 to achieve that.
We'll keep you up to date with the points throughout the night at At last count, Harlequins were about 90 points ahead of All Stars and Aquanites. Nobody with the Joker cap in this race. But we do have, it's in lane 1 here, Rachel Smith, Harlequins. Ready to go. And off, Sammy Winwood of Marcos, Emma Robinson in 3, who did wear the Joker's cap in the 800. Charlotte Webby in lane 4, Monique King. So those 3 have had some good races already. Karina Doyle in lane 6 from Marcos. Josie Kozniak of All Stars in 7, and Claudia Ashby of Aquanite in 8. Kozniak from the Capital Club. She's swimming out of lane 7 up towards the top. Emma Robinson in lane 3, Charlotte Webby in 4. So it is Robinson leading.
So if you have a look at Emma Robertson here, John, in lane number 3, you'll see that she does the traditional, what we call a 2-beat kick. On every arm stroke, she'll kick on one leg to the opposite side of the body just for balance. Now, that was notorious in the 70s in particular. She just kicks into a 6-beat kick there now off the walls, and then she breaks it back down to a 2-beat kick. We saw that a lot in the 70s, the 80s, and early 90s in female swimming. Janet Evans, who was the world record holder, and we watched win multiple world records and Olympic gold medals, employed that 2-beat kick, as we also saw that in Janie Parkhouse's day when she won the 800 metres freestyle. In fact, it was interesting, they all did a 2-beat kick in those days, and Janie trained to the last 50 metres to do a 6-beat kick and ended up winning the gold medal. God, going way back to the 1974 Commonwealth Games, but it's just how the sport has evolved. But that is a traditional 2-beat kick now, as we see from Emma Robertson.
So employed mainly in longer distance swim. Does that a question that people might be asking, a 2-beat kick rather than 4 or 6 or whatever, does that mean more work being done by the upper body?
Absolutely. So the arm stroke rating is a lot higher, and you can see that with the likes of Emma Robertson here. She has a much faster stroke rate than what the other swimmers will do. You wouldn't get away with this over the 100 metres or the 50 metres freestyle. There, the 6-beat kick has to be employed.
So just had an update, and that gap is very close in the points for 2nd and 3rd in particular. Harlequins leading with 1,264. All Stars have 1,130. 9 ahead of Aquanites. Marcos 10.48. So the Joker will be vital. Who's playing the Joker later in this meet?
So you'll see Emma Robertson, she's in her last little part of this 400 metres freestyle. So again, conserving as much as she can. She knows she's under a little bit of pressure, not by much. Monique King in lane at number 5, just coming up on her all the time. So whenever she does, she just goes back into a bit more of a kick, a bit more of a 4-beat kick as opposed to the big 6-beat kick. So Monique King in 2nd position. Charlotte Webby in 3rd, and she's having a humdinger of a battle from Karina Doyle in lane number 6.
So that's 1 from each of the zones. All Stars leading, Harlequin 2nd, Marcos and Aquanites.
So just keep an eye on that 6-beat kick now coming in for the likes of Emma Robinson. Totally different now. She's going to turn with 50 metres still to go. She'll come off the wall. She'll kick off the wall. She'll need to use that kick, and she keeps that 6-beat going for a little bit now, much longer than what we saw earlier in the race. Now she wants to just make sure that she stays out in front and wins this event, but you can see the whole of this 50 metres now she's employed a 6-beat kick. And stroke rate up the top changes a little bit as a consequence of it.
Just see her every now and then just switch a look to the right, breathing to the right. Covering the field, touching, and All Stars get the 26 out of this race. The 400 metres individual medley. Harlequins get the 21 points. third place, Marcos, and in fourth place, Aquanites. In fifth, All-Stars. So the All-Stars get first and fifth out of this. So that will help them a little bit in their battle against the Aquanites.
Yeah, winning time of 4 minutes 21 as well.
There's not much rest, is there? Sam Mackenzie's back in action again in lane number 3. Blake Horn in 1, men's 400 freestyle. Sebastian Priskett in 2. Here's Blake Horn from Aquanites. Mackenzie's in 3. Cam Gillespie from All-Star in 4. Zach Reed from Aquanites in 5. Leo Tattersfield, Harlequins 6. Nicholas Pride, Marcos 7. Tom Berry up at the top in lane 8 for All-Stars.
Well, what a fantastic start by Sam Mackenzie. We've already seen him produce a very impressive 100 metres freestyle and taking out the gold medal earlier, and also the Joker swim as well, so double points for him. It's going to be interesting to see as a traditional sprinter, a 1,500 metre freestyler, how much that is going to take a toll on him. As a sprinter, they tend to take a lot longer to recover. They produce a lot more what we call lactic acid into the body, and they don't recover as well. So can he actually fire back in here and produce another good 400 metres freestyle? He generally will, being a younger swimmer, they recover a lot quicker than the older swimmers. You'd never see a senior swimmer be able to go straight from 100 metres freestyle into 400 as a straight sprinter. They would produce so much lactic acid because they've muscle definition on them, bigger muscle definition. It means more lactic acid as such as a sprinter, and they just wouldn't be able to back it up. When they're a young kid like this, you know, it's like any time you watch your young kids and they can bounce back, they can have a late night and they're still up with the energy the next morning. These young kids can go to a training camp and they become a real pain for the older swimmers because they just bounce around from one session to the next. They got all this energy to burn. Whereas the older swimmers, they go, no, I've just trained for a couple of hours. I need to rest now. I need to sleep.
Yes. You see Zach Reed in this race in lane 5. Remember, he had the Joker's cap for the men's 1,500 metres, which he won from Aquanites, swimming in lane 5. So a big difference between the 400 and the 800, although he's the 1,500, I mean, but he's looking good. He's in second place at the moment behind Sam Mackenzie. Sam Mackenzie turns now. There goes Reed, 2 up from him in lane 5. Up at the top there on lane 7, Nicholas Pride from Marcos. Down here, it's Blake Horn of Aquanites.
I like the way Zach Reed is swimming as well. He looks a very young man as such. You know, so he's got a lot of maturing to go. But he strokes really nicely. He's got a good 1,500 swim in him, which we saw earlier on. So he's got good endurance on his side. But I do like the Sam Mackenzie. And it's a one that I've certainly made a note of to keep an eye on.
Of course, it's always interesting, Mark, when you see someone age 14 or 15 to, in 5 years' time, see where they are. I mean, various things can happen, can't they? They don't go on, or they get sick of swimming. It's because it's a demanding sport. Not very good socially, is it?
No, and there's so many other sports out there too, to be fair. And, you know, there's an attraction. I mean, looking at some of the bios of some of these swimmers, it's interesting that they have a big interest in triathlon, a lot of them, and they will actually evolve into triathlon if they don't quite make it in swimming, because the swimming doesn't become such an important component, but it can be a strength for them as well, because they've got good conditioning over the years. So the aerobic capacity transferring into the bike, into the run, can help them if they go into triathlon. A lot of them will also go into other aquatic water sports. Water polo is a significant factor if they don't make it, and it is a big commitment sport. But as any parent will tell you, that when their kids are in swimming, they're out of trouble. And it's like rowing, isn't it? You know, you would love your kids to be in these sort of discipline sports because they learn so many wonderful values. But I think also you got to look at the positive values